Hey Virgo, what's up? This reading is going to be for your week ahead. So from now and covering now through the next 7 days. We are starting off with Wheel of Fortune and Six of Pentacles. Nine of Wands. Wheel of Fortune and Six of Pentacles is feeling to me like something that you're involved in where like you show up and you're giving something and you're also receiving something, a situation that's connected with that. It feels like there's going to be a change that happens and there may need to be a bit of an adjustment. What this means is that maybe you're involved in something and you're getting a particular thing out of it. That thing may change, or like you may be required to give more. There can be something like that that's going on. Like let me just throw an example out there. It can be something like you're maybe asked to like cover somebody's hours at work. So like what you would normally show up and give, you can be being asked to give more. This can also mean too that you can be receiving more because we have Jupiter. So it's going to like make something be more. You can be maybe asked to give more, but that also means you're going to be receiving more. There can be something along those lines. So it does feel like a change that's happening there. What this means too is that if you've been like putting in work, if you've been putting in energy, there can be some type of change just in general that happens to what you get in return for the energy that you invest. Because of having Jupiter be there, like usually this is seen as more of a surplus than anything. It's not like if Saturn were here, it could possibly be something being like taken away or made smaller. Because Jupiter is here, there can be like actually something more instead. So it can be a change that's connected with increase. And so like maybe you're going to be doing the same thing, but there's going to be an increase of what you're getting back. Or maybe you're going to be asked like, hey, can you put in more energy? But also you'll get more for it then, more than what would be normal for you, because this looks like a change that's happening. So if you, let's say, work like maybe like 20 hours a week, this can be like, hey, can you work 25 hours a week or 30 hours a week? But there will be, it feels like that relationship will carry over. Like it'll still be an exchange that's happening, but it can be just a bit, it's just going to be a change that happens to it. But I kind of feel it's like if you're asked to participate 5% more, that what you get back is also like 5% more. It can be something like that. Or it's not going to decrease. Like if you're putting in 5% more, you're not going to get less than a 5% increase, is just the feeling that I'm getting on this. So next we're seeing the Nine of Wands. And so this can mean that whatever this is that's going on, it can be somewhat difficult, or it can be somewhat challenging, or it can really ask a lot of energy of you. Some of you, there's also a goal that you're going to be meeting as well. Like, challenge here, a lot of energy needs to put into this, but then you get the outcome that you want. Lots of energy asked of you, but then you get the outcome that you want, so it's worth it. It's worth the output, and it's worth sticking with this. Some of you, too, this can be a bit of a new venture that you're beginning as well, where you're still learning things, you're still figuring things out. Okay. there can be a bit of a negotiation that happens. Why I'm saying that is that I'm seeing Six of Pentacles and then I'm seeing King of Pentacles be connected with it. And so if you're the King of Pentacles here and you're showing up, this can have to do with like your worth and whatnot, like what you think you're worth, what you think your energy is worth, what you think your expertise is worth, whatever it is that you'd be offering in this position. Like, I'd give my time to this, or I'd give my skill to this, whatever that is. There can be choices that need to be made that are specifically about that, because you want to make sure that you're compensated for what you're doing. It's feeling like that more than anything. Like, you want to make sure that if you're getting involved in something, that it feels worth it to you. And for some of you, this is an expansion of your career, or it can be a change in the roles that you play, a change in dynamics that you have as well. But I definitely do see things having to do with compensation be involved in this, and choices that need to be made that are associated with that. And this can be something that feels... changes that are happening where you can be like, it's good that this is happening, and also too, it's like tiring, or it's taking more energy to do this, or I have to put more in, or it's more challenging to do that. Maybe there's a bigger process, or there are more steps that need to be taken, or there's just like more to do or something like that. Maybe also too, adapting to change can be a little bit of a shift for you that takes some energy as well. Just because of something not being the normal routine. Maybe that's why it takes more energy, because there's all of that adapting that's happening. Also too, can be a difficult conversation that has to be had. But again, like, I'm seeing that you get good results here. And this also can be like a choice that needs to be made. Like, maybe you throw something out there, a choice needs to be made, but then you're like, yes, I'm so happy that that was the choice that was made. So if that's not up to you, you're still going to feel happy with this. But I definitely am seeing there's something that has to be discussed so a conclusion can be come to, so there can be a decision that's made. And there can be something that's difficult about having to do that part too. And I also feel like reciprocity has to do with it. Like, this really does feel like a deal being made or something like that. Or like being agreed upon. Like, if I do this, like, I need this for it. Kind of like that type of thing. Or if I'm going to be here showing up, like, you know, I'm going to do a good job. So, like, let's talk about that part of things. Like, there can be stuff about, like, fairness and contracts. And it feels like agreements and whatnot. But there's also, like, learning here. Because we're not seeing justice come out. We're seeing Jupiter. So, like, Jupiter can be in a bigger sense having to do with those things. But there's also going to be stuff that's not just, I see Jupiter being involved as there being some type of like even philosophical undertone or understanding to this about you and yourself, and where even you want to be going and what type of route you want to be expanding upon. And I think this is like asking you to grow as well, having Jupiter there. Like, this can be in a work setting for some of you, in a professional setting, or in a particular role that you're playing. It's saying like, hey, we're needing this from you. So there can be a learning curve here that's happening. There can be new stuff that you're figuring out. Things can be getting bigger. You can be maybe taking on more. And it can be taking more because of that, like more from you. And so it can feel like, okay, like I'm gonna do this, but this is challenging. Like, it may not feel like a total breeze. I'm seeing we have Ace of Cups here. So this does look very much like a new chapter. I kind of see somebody with like flowers behind their back, and they're going to present them to you. It feels like something that like you weren't seeing before, but this person is going to come through and offer this to you. And this definitely is part of the expansion of things. Yeah, for some of you, I am getting contract being involved in this. This will feel like a really big win for you. Something could have initially been undisclosed, undecided, or we didn't know what was going to be happening with it yet. But then I'm seeing this be like a bright new chapter. I keep seeing things about like it being like wrapped up in like opening it, and there's like the present inside of there, and it feels very much like related to a new chapter. This can also be a connection that's happening as well, because we have a King of Pentacles and we also have a King of Swords here, and I'm seeing that there is like a decision that's being made. I'm seeing the Ace of Cups here, and so this can be a new connection that's made between you and another person as well, like a new chapter that you're going to start. Having cups there, this can be something that's creatively connected. This can be something where there's like an internal connection that you have with this person. And Ace of Cups can also be something about your relationship with yourself is expanding and changing as well too. Like this can be something that brings more love into your life, something that brings more connection into your life. And yeah, sure, it can be in the form of another person, but it can also be in the way that you maintain the relationship that you have with yourself. Overall, I'm seeing that you're going to feel very happy with this, having that Six of Wands be there. Maybe some of you too, there's something that feels like a bit of a challenge socially at times as well, and that also comes into play. Starting new things. Can also feel like now it's time for this to be happening, and there can be a discussion about timelines as well. Where things are going. Part of what can feel challenging for you is when something is not decided upon yet, like being maybe in that liminal space. That can be part of what's difficult. I do really see this as being something that you're going to see as being valuable. This is going to be like a win for you in the position of the King of Pentacles. So again, this can be a work situation, a professional situation, you playing a role that feels important to you and being in that position where there are things that are expected of you, you have responsibilities, you have stuff that you need to get done. This is a big win for you in that regard. And then also too, having Six of Pentacles be connected with Ace of Cups feels like this is a new chapter that you're starting that feels like it's based off of mutual, maybe like respect, understanding, and maybe also value for what it is that you show up with and what it is that you provide. Because this feels not only like, it feels like there's some type of, I don't know if sentimental would be the right word, but there's definitely something having to do with like connection and love being involved in this, or feeling like there is a nurturing of something that feels nourishing internally, and that's also part of this. So this chapter is about connecting, and I think that there are external things that are happening, but this also feels like there's something really important happening on an internal level that this chapter is connected with. So this can be, yeah, a new chapter that you're having with another person where you feel like there's something growing between the two of you. And this can really be in any context. It just depends on like who this person is with you, but there's definitely some type of like feeling a sense of internal connection with this person. And it can be like a spiritual connection, it can be an energetic connection that you feel, something along the lines of that. And it feels very much because it's time for this to be taking place now. And I also feel like you're ready for it. Even though you could be questioning that a little bit, because I think when Jupiter comes through, there can be this like, am I ready for this? Am I prepared for this? Can I do this? Is like too much being expected of me, or is this okay? There can be kind of that whole thing going on. And so that can also be part of your process as well. So yeah. I would say if you don't have an answer about something, you will have it within the next 7 days, for those of you that you're waiting on an answer or for an agreement or for a decision to be made. I also don't know if this is important, but I'm recording this on November 4th, but I see this as the reading as being active really actually whenever it is that you watch this, like beginning at that point. So yeah, with that being said, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.